Hey, good morning. This is Ray over here at Namrack Farms. Hope you are having a great start to your day. When I was a kid, 8 years old, my dad gave my brother and I a job for the summer. We were in a place in Greenville, South Carolina, where they were building a pool. And on the side of the pool, it was kind of a slant, a slope. And on that slope, there were a bunch of rocks. And they wanted all those rocks picked up so they could sow grass and make that look pretty. So my brother was 9, I was 8. We were given the task of going out there and picking those rocks up and getting them down to the bottom of the hill at the edge of the woods. And well, what started off, you thought, well, 2 boys picking up rocks, they can eventually get it done, but we got bored real quick. So we'd go to the top and we'd take a rock and we'd roll it down and we'd see how many rocks it would catch going down the hill. That way our job would be easier. And we did that. We'd pick some up, we'd throw them, but most of the time we just roll them and see how many rocks they'd pick up on the way down. And by the end of the summer, evidently we'd done enough. They sowed the grass down and got it ready, and down at the bottom there was this huge pile of rocks all piled up. And I kind of grew an affection for that, because the older I got, every time I'd go on a trail walk or go somewhere where there was a hill and there were rocks to go down a hill, I'd always take a little rock and throw it and see how many rocks it'd pick up going down the hill. You ever done that? It's kind of fun. You just take one little pebble, drop it, see how many big rocks it'll take with it on its way down. And sometimes one little pebble going down can cause an avalanche. It's happened many times. Well, that's what happened Saturday. When I came over here and found Precious that evening, the enemy took a little pebble and he dropped it. He dropped it and it started a little roll, and it hit another rock and another rock and another rock. And eventually caused an avalanche in my mind of things going on. And things that were seemingly small became huge. And it uncovered some things of resentment and anger and things I was holding back, thinking, hey, they're not that big of a deal. And so I was just burying them deep inside. And guess what? They were a huge deal. And unfortunately, when someone has something like that happen in their life, the person right next to them tends to take the brunt of it. And so my family, my wife and kids, took the brunt of what was coming out of me. The frustration, the anger, the upset, everything that I was upset about. And I used to yell and I used to fight, and now I just kind of say things and they're jabs right at the heart. And so I was sitting there jabbing. And then I just got quiet, just went and buried myself away, and that's how it was going to be. Like I said, I was done. I was through. Well, a phone call, little pebble, dropped, started another avalanche. It was getting my mind off myself and my problems and reminding me of others. And that little pebble led to a video yesterday morning. And that little video, which was another little pebble, led to response after response after response, and suddenly an avalanche of love was pouring out. And what the enemy meant for evil, God meant for good. Because those stories of how you have shared with me, how Precious touched you, how the story of her rejection touched you, how the story of the things that we've talked about here on this farm have touched you, reminded me of one of the other videos when I said there was one sheep, one knucklehead, who sat at the feet of the shepherd and the rest of them followed. And God had said, Ray, go be the one. And I'll be honest, this big old boy just started bawling like a baby. And my little 6-year-old son comes in and goes, hey, Dad, can we have a conversation? Are you crying? Like, yes, son, I am. I am crying. Well, why? Because Precious died? Yeah, partly. But mostly because God's letting me be the one. He's letting me sit at his feet. He's letting me tell others about him. What a glorious and wonderful thing. And sometimes while you're doing something, you can forget what it is you're doing. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your prayers. And I am looking forward to what God is going to do with the one little pebble that he dropped. Yeah, Satan dropped a pebble, and I promise you he's going to drop plenty more in my life. There's going to be plenty more mistakes, plenty more times that I get frustrated, I get angry, and yes, my wife and my kids will probably take the brunt of it. But I'm human. I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect yet. One day I'll get there. He'll bring me there on the other side. I'll be the guy who I always dreamed I could be. But till then, I'm just going to be the guy he made me to be. Because he said, Ray, I want you to know I love you. Not like you think you ought to be. But Ray, I love you just like you are. You know why I love you like you are, Ray? Because I made you that way. I created you that way. I knew exactly who you were going to be. I knew exactly the faults you were going to have, and I decided to choose and love you anyway. Because I think you're beautiful. So God's dropped a pebble, and something started rolling. And I pray that as long as he wants this avalanche to continue, his avalanche of love, he'll allow me to be a part and be the one sitting at his feet and joining you as we worship and glorify him. You go have a great day. Enjoy the shepherd. I'll talk to you soon.